Good morning, everyone. We are just about to start climbing the way out of Cuba, New Mexico, where we stayed yesterday for zero. Most people wanted to just go through, do laundry, resupply, and continue, but almost everybody ended up staying a day. So it was a big hiker gathering again. Half the motel filled up with hikers. It's always nice to have these gatherings and to see everybody else again, hear about their experiences. And it's also probably the last time, at least for a while, that I've seen a lot of those people, because I'll be coordinating with my extended family from the US on the way from Ghost Ranch to Chama. So I'll be out for a while. And there's also no rush to get into Colorado at the moment, and there's still snow at altitude. So every day that you wait is a day that the snow can melt and that the conditions will improve, even though it's a very, very low snow year. I'm just super happy to get out of the desert again. So no more sand. We're back to forested areas. Apparently we're even going through a marsh today, and we're at high elevation too, so temperatures are a bit lower. And this next stretch is about 50 miles to Ghost Ranch, which is a little compound where you can resupply, camp, do laundry, get food. And then it's another 80 miles from Ghost Ranch to Chama, or to Cumbres Pass, which is right behind the border of New Mexico and Colorado. And then we're already done with New Mexico. Now this first section is going to be about a 600-meter climb up to the top of the volcano. Then we cross the top plateau, the wilderness area, San Pedro Peaks, and then the trail heads down on the other side again, descending a little more than what we climbed this morning. So I think we'll probably manage to do a fair chunk of the downhill as well today. So the plan is to camp on the other side of the volcano. Now pack weight is very manageable. It's only about 2.5 days of food. And since we're out of the desert, there's also supposed to be flowing water sources out here. So at least according to the map, on this stretch there's 6 or 7 water sources today. So I'm just carrying about 1.5 liters, which is a very welcome treat. Climb is very nice. It's a very gradual trail. This is the new CDT. The old CDT actually went out a different route out of Chama and went up the volcano a different route as well. I'm not sure how new this is, but the trail is in really good condition. It's gradual switchbacks climbing up the mountain. It's partially shaded because there's trees, oaks, pines, etc. up here. This is a very different kind of hiking. I mean, I took a shower this morning. My clothes are clean. I'm well fed. I have rehydrated extensively with plant-based electrolyte drinks over the last couple of days. It feels so much better. You feel like a new human being.
My name's Ty. I am 23 and I am originally born and raised in Houston, Texas.
Okay, and how long have you been out here on the CDT?
I've been out here for about a couple of weeks now. April 15th was my start date.
So that's about a month, right?
Yeah, almost about a month, and tomorrow, yeah.
Okay. What made you decide to hike the CDT?
I ruptured my knee up in 2024. How do I get back outdoors? I had ACL surgery from a snowboarding injury. But other than that, I've always been fascinated to do, long distance hiking and endurance races and stuff like that, coming from running. So I thought this was the best way for me to kind of explore the Rocky Mountains indefinitely.
What have been your most positive and negative experiences so far?
Yeah, my most positive is definitely getting back out to New Mexico. I used to live here about a couple of years ago in Taos in the northeast corner, but it's really cool and fascinating to find out about the southwest part, so the opposite. My most negative things I think I am facing is blisters. Blister care is number one. Important, hygiene as well too, but blister care specifically is really annoying. You have to find what works out for you.
This is what I'm talking about. Vegetation, greenness, flowing water. You hear that noise? Makes me so happy. It's hard to think of a bigger contrast. I mean, there's grass up here, there's flowers, there's lush trees, there's creeks. It's just such a stark contrast to yesterday. So happy to be out here. First bridge of the CDT! It does not really need an explanation why we stop here for lunch, does it? There's entire meadows flooded with, well, we call them yellow enzian in the Alps. It's essentially this plant. It is so freaking beautiful up here. I'm telling you, the water situation up here. Just walk around with a leader, and if it gets empty, you just pop over to the creek and get something new. Well, ain't that the luxury, huh? It's really hard to comprehend. 10 miles out of town in one direction, you have Sahara-like deserts, desolate, full of sand, dry. And then 10 miles the other way, you have lush green alpine forests full of grass blossoming in full spring. I mean, I couldn't have made this up if I wanted to. It is such a stark contrast, and it's hilarious. All the people that you meet who are hiking the CDT, I've met a few today, they all have this smile in their face, and they just can't wipe the grin out of their faces because they're all so happy. I am considering just walking in circles up here rather than finishing the CDT. Seems a good idea at the moment. So it's about 2:30 now, and the almost endless climb up this volcano is slowly coming to an end. So the top part here is about 3,200 meters, just about, I think. It should be around 10,000, just a little more than 10,000 feet. And as you can see behind me, I am clearly walking through very lush and dense forest, pine trees. I've also learned today that the birch trees that I saw here are apparently part of the birch family, but they're actually called aspens here. So there's also aspens up here. But my point is a different one. I probably have to reconfigure my association with elevation and vegetation, because at 3,000 meters in the Alps, you wouldn't see a single tree. This would all be ice and rock. Usually the tree line is around 2,000 meters plus minus a little bit, so that's roughly 6,000, 7,000 feet maybe. And here, even above 10,000 feet, there still seems to be a full-grown forest. So I am looking forward to find out where the tree line actually is. It definitely has to be north of 10,000. I was having quite a hard time initially to take proper rest days in the first part of New Mexico, and I was having a conversation this morning with a fellow hiker. Yeah, I mean, we spent a day and a half in Cuba, essentially doing nothing but lying around, playing dice, drinking beer, going out to eat, and not do much else. But even a day and a half of full rest, including 3 complete stretch routines, the next day take off, I still don't feel completely rested. You still feel things are sore, you still feel things are stiff. So it's clearly not enough. So I might be considering a double zero at some point. But it just also shows you how important it is to take these rests, because if you're not taking them and your body is already feeling so tired if you take them, just imagine how it would feel if you don't take them. Well, that at least goes for me. There's some other people out here, ultra runners and stuff. That's a completely different ball game. But for me, Mr. Average Joe, that's clearly necessary. It will be the first post-holing opportunity on the CDT. Oh! Yes, 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 I made it. I post-holed. Wrapping today up, I think it might have already been obvious, but today was one of the best days on the CDT so far. It was an extremely enjoyable hike over this volcanic plateau. I'm in the meantime in the process of descending on the other side. I'll probably do half the descent today, then camp, and then do the rest tomorrow. The change in scenery, the abrupt change of scenery from the desert to high alpine aspen forest, just mind-blowing. If the next sections of the CDT or Colorado is anything like this, I have high hopes that I will enjoy it a lot. Now, with how the hike went so far, I'm actually a little bit ahead of schedule, which I don't really want to be, because getting into Colorado too early is, even in a low snow year, problematic for just snow reasons. So we'll probably slow down artificially over the next couple of days, both to match the time window of my family from Mississippi coming to New Mexico, so I can meet with them, and also to not enter Colorado too early. And one thing is sure, I'm really looking forward to getting new shoes in Ghost Ranch, because these ones have essentially no profile left and are like ballerina shoes. So I'm just slipping and sliding even though it's completely dry. Now tomorrow I'm looking at about 20 miles to make a dent into the remaining section to Ghost Ranch, and then the day after that I will probably walk into Ghost Ranch and spend some time there before I move on to Chama.